All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, quick little video here, quick little update from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. He reported earlier this morning that despite the Jets trading away wide receiver McCole Hardman, what was it, like a couple days ago, or pretty much like a week ago at this point, the Jets might not be done at the NFL trade deadline, referencing the minimal usage of Dalvin Cook, or not minimal usage, but minimal roles, rather, with Dalvin Cook and defensive end Carl Lawson. Now, I think both players are really, really interesting here when we're talking about potential moves at the deadline, because it's, typically when you think of like a buying team, you're thinking about adding players to the roster and moving picks. And, me and Tyson from Let's Talk Jets Radio have talked a lot about this on the podcast, where the Jets could actually be both buyers and sellers at the deadline, where they maybe go all in for a player, whether that's, an offensive lineman, a wide receiver, whatever it may be. But at the same time, they're trading away the players that they might be, or I guess they might be trading away those specific veterans, Lawson and Dalvin Cook here, because those positions, running back and defensive end, are just so stacked. We just have so many players there. I mean, think about it. Defensive end, we have Jermaine Johnson, rookie first-round pick Will McDonald, Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens, John Franklin Myers can bounce outside if you really need him to, right? Panic situation, multiple players get hurt. That's 5 players. And I did not mention Carl Lawson's name. So I understand maybe the mindset, and also, factoring in Lawson is the one that is the veteran here. He's not on his rookie contract. He was the free agent acquisition. He has battled injuries throughout his career. I could understand the mindset here from Joe Douglas, maybe wanting to part ways and scoop up like a mid to a late round pick or something like that. I will say this though. What these players are going for this season specifically, it's not that much. Like, we all know what the Jets got back in return for McCole Hardman. It was a late round pick swap. The Jets sent Hardman and a 7th round pick to the Chiefs for a 2025 6th round pick. It's just hardly any value back. The Van Jefferson trade, right? Like, teams, it just seems like teams are just not getting much back in return for these players. Now, with that said, a future pick is better than no pick, I guess. But if you shift gears and look at running back, of course, Breece Hall playing at a great level still, Michael Carter, and, rookie Izzy Abadakanda. If I'm Joe Douglas here, I'm not going to sit here and draft another running back when we have 2 young backs on the roster and just not use them. Like, just not even make him active, right? This is somebody that a lot of Jets fans have been wanting to see suit up for the team, because he provides speed, he provides explosiveness. He was just a beast back at Pitt. But is it realistic to say, okay, on a 53-man roster, we're going to suit up 4 running backs? No, probably not. Dalvin Cook, again, is the veteran. He has been a bit disappointing. He is on the 1-year contract. Maybe there could be a buyer out there, or, a team out there that's looking for Dalvin Cook's services. But I think at this point, it's probably, I would say trading Dalvin Cook is and getting something nice back in return is really, really slim, in my opinion, because, again, he was out on the free agency market and the Jets paid him a ton of money. But it is what it is. I can see a situation where the Jets are buyers and sellers at the same time. But the one big question mark that we have to ask ourselves, are we okay moving these guys? Because we have to we have to look at everything from like every angle, right? What happens if Breece Hall were to get hurt? What then? What happens if you just have a freak situation and 2 defensive ends go down? What happens then? I want the New York Jets to be fully fledged, fully committed to winning football games this season. So this has been a team that has had a lot of injuries in the past. They have had a lot of issues with depth on the team. And again, we just talked about the depth at those 2 positions. But, this is the big question. This is the big gamble here, the roll of the dice from Douglas. Does he want to take the risk and cut veterans, cut depth, not release, but just, minimize them on the roster, trade them away for either future picks or picks this season or whatever he can get back in return? That's the big question mark. because and the unfortunate truth is that there's no controlling it, right? We don't know if a defensive end is going to get hurt. We don't know if Breece Hall is going to get hurt, right? We just don't have that information. So again, it's a gamble from Joe Douglas. We'll see what happens. And of course, we also still have to play another game before the trade deadline. We play the Giants. Who's to say, maybe another team out there has an injury at their running back position, and now they're all of a sudden a buyer for Dalvin Cook. Or, there's so many different situations that you can kind of talk about here. But again, still have a couple days, one more game before the deadline, and then I think we do have a day and a half after that game. So a lot can happen in this time. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Will the Jets end up trading Dalvin Cook, Carl Lawson, or potentially even somebody else? Or are you thinking, hey, we're going to go out and maybe be aggressive and add another wide receiver, add another offensive lineman, potentially sign Lyle Collins? We'll see. I think it might be, I could see it going either way, right, where the Jets are making a splash move, or we're just dead silent. We don't do a single thing. I could see either situation playing out. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, go Jets.